I'm sorry, but if this... I hope this is important. Gagarin is a city on the rise. Cheap facilities, an enthusiastic labor market. Archmite and Satari Mills are just learning what Reliant's known for years. Gagarin is the place to do business. What's that like? Challenging. I work for Helena Strickland, one of the most driven executives in the industry. I tied him really, though she seems to forget it's not just her that's responsible for Reliant's successes around here. Though we've been having some courier troubles recently. I think there could be some credits in if you're interested. Speak to Helena. Who knows? Drink themselves to death? I honestly haven't the slightest. I'm usually too busy trying to make something of this city. But if you aren't the seize the day type, you can wander over to Lizzie's. I haven't heard about any waves of blindness striking the city's residents, so the drinks can't be that bad. Reliant's always here when you need us.
You have not. If my services are inadequate, please leave a complaint so I can improve.
You're not the usual courier. Please tell me you're his replacement, and that you're just here to pay me a long overdue visit on his behalf.
That is a problem.
Are you now? Look, I'm expecting a very important package. Very important. What would you say to tracking it down for me? Quickly. I pay, and I pay well. Good. Let's get you on your way, then. Akachi Rosenblum, United Transport, Gagarin Branch. Now, please. Akachi, it's Helena, over at Reliant Medical. Your courier never showed. I need his stops for the day. This is my I don't care voice, Akachi. Oh? And what's your firm's policy on losing our branch as a client? I thought so. Send it to my personal slate. Thank you, Akachi. Here, all the places our courier might have gotten waylaid. She mentioned a panel or something that you can plug his ID number into at each delivery point. They should tell you if he's been there recently. The ID's 8148. When you do finally track him down, you can tell him you'll be completing delivery. Now go get me my package. Please. I'm sure you'll be able to find our courier at one of those stops.
You from off-world? Well, if you like your destinations hot and dusty, Gagarin's got you covered. Security's usually good about keeping out strays, but keep your eyes open at night.
Hey, what's drunk?
Don't
People seem
mind
to
taking in the
really
collection.
like it.
Take care now.
At United Transport, efficiency.
Man, could I use a vacation? You want to know what I think about all these new businesses buying up town?
I'm Dr. Keala. Are you a new patient? If you're a UC citizen, I can look you up, get your benefits processed once we've done a workup. Then by all means, tell me what I can do. I like helping people. I grew up around here, so I already knew basically all of my patients from day one. My parents both worked the mines, and I saw how hard that can be on the body. Made me want to help folks around here. Let me look you over. You seem in perfect health to me. But a little rest and relaxation might help if you're feeling off. Don't be a stranger.
Finally starting to cool off. Apparently, the corporate execs are talking about building their own priority blocks.
1148 detected. Error. You have already checked in at this drop-off location. Please resume standard route.
Someone painted some choice words on the front of the Arcmite factory.
Hey, Cap. You hiring? Got some baddies on my tail, and I need a place to lay low. I'm a smuggler. Making enemies comes with a job. This time, I got in over my head and made one who's more dangerous than me. Hard to believe what passes for polite
Chronicles of the Mech Riders. It's a good title. You read it, right? Oh, and that's just the beginning. Action, adventure, heartbreak, humanity at its absolute most raw. Ever since I left the military, I've been thinking about writing chronicles. Interviewing other mech pilots about what it was like to experience the war strapped in, and what it's been like for us ex-pilots since mechs were banned. Deployed from 2309 till the fleet got themselves blown to bits 2 years later, and the UC waved the white flag. I was at the Battle of Mars when the Free Stars dropped in to try and blow our industrial output to smithereens. If you've ever visited Sidonia and noticed it's still in one piece, that's my unit's work.
I find other ways to spend my time more compelling. But I am sure some would find it riveting.
Well, in the bold future where the book's done and I don't have to track packages for a living anymore, I'll happily sign your copy. Now, what can I do for you? When folks lose a limb, some get ghost sensations. Feel like the limb's still there. Well, imagine that across your whole body. When you're strapped in long enough, you and your machine, you grow to understand each other. What the machine can take and keep going, and what the human can. We'd even sleep in our mechs so we could deploy faster. And since they were a hell of a lot more comfortable than the cots the UC issued, you spent your life cradled in the arms of a war machine. That's what it's like to pilot a mech, and that's what I want to write about. The armistice that ended the colony war put plenty of new laws into place, but the two big ones were no more xeno-weapons and no more mechs. You'll get into trouble for even having mech components on your ship on more settled worlds. So those of us that made our living piloting them were left without a purpose. Which is how I went from driving a 1500 horsepower battle frame to working in a shipping warehouse. Sailing across the settled systems, hunting down all these other pilots, it's not going to be cheap. That's why I'm living in scenic Gagarin and not, say, downtown New Atlantis. Every spare credit goes right into the book fund. Of course, I don't exactly mind living in the same town where my mech was built either. But once I've got enough, I'm gone. So long.
Looking for a drink? Don't serve anything fancy, so if you're about to ask for wine spritz or whatever, you can hop right back on your ship to New Atlantis. Well, then make yourself comfortable. And don't start anything, all right? Sure do. I came into some money right around the time the war ended. Places were selling for nothing. Every person with credits was flying to New Atlantis. I got this place for a wink and a nod. Have been slinging drinks the way I like 'em ever since. Bunch of corporate marionettes moving in, setting up shop. They think we're just a bunch of cheap factories and dumb labor that'll leap at whatever scraps they toss us. But Gagarins are tough by default. We've got exactly zero need of corporate condescension. Lucky you. I've got a little project I could use some help with. You've seen all the neckties and power suits wandering around town? Feels like they're everywhere. And while I like a bunch of stuck-up new Atlantean MBAs defiling my city as much as I enjoy unmedicated dental surgery, they've got the credits, so sooner or later, I'm going to need to start serving them, or someone else will.
Trading your ideals for credits. A losing transaction if ever I heard one.
Ideals don't keep me fed, friendo. But luckily, I think I found something that can. There's this ship whose crew had to ditch mid-flight. I presume it's some kind of luxury liner because it's supposedly got an impressive collection of booze on it. I want you to go to the ship, find the best stuff on board, and bring it to me. Anything else on the ship is yours to keep. Plus, I'll throw in some credits for your trouble. My contact's reliable. More than that, not your job to know. My rumor was light on details. Got to be some kind of lesser luxury craft, a pleasure yacht or the like. Not going to find the sort of beverages I'm after on anything else. Exactly what I was hoping to hear. You'll find the ship doing laps around Grissom. And be careful. I'm not paying for broken bottles, okay? You're in the right place. Don't cook yourself out there.
I don't miss all the extra heat from you. Lost? The trick to the catwalks, just keep turning right. You get where you're going eventually.
Check-in accepted. You are late, courier. Please complete delivery and proceed along your route.
Welcome to the Vanguard Recruitment Office. Here to join the cause. If you've got a ship and the metal to help keep UC systems safe, the Vanguard has got a place for you. Ah, pleasure to meet you, Captain. So then, to what do I owe the visit? My family's actually lived here since the place was first settled. Gagarin's seen a lot in that time. Wasn't too long ago, this was a booming manufacturing town, churning out mechs for the UC. That all went belly up when the technology was banned post-colony war. Now we've got these outside firms buying up the old factories, bringing in new money. Honestly, I think we'll see this place get a real facelift in our lifetimes. UC Marine Corps. Served in the Colony War. I can't talk about the specifics, but I'm proud of what I was able to do. Being a part of something bigger than myself made me who I am today. Living in the war zone, you get a better idea of the value of life, of working together with others, of your own strengths. I'm still processing my experiences and how they changed my life to this day. I'd love to get some more people coming in the door. Any interest in helping me distribute some recruiting materials to a couple local concerns? You'll be dropping off recruitment kits to 3 people. Lizzie Aheo at the local watering hole, Chief Pretorius at the security office, and Dr. Keala over at the clinic. I'll pay you for the legwork, but I'll throw in some extra if you can get them to guarantee they'll actually put the materials up. That all sound like it's in your wheelhouse? If I knew how to do that, I wouldn't have to pay someone. But I trust you'll figure something out. So, does that mean you'll do it? Good. Once you're done, come back here. I'll have your credits waiting. Don't let Lizzie skip. Take care of yourself.
Sorry, you're back. Weird. Not as many as I should, given the contracts these miners are signing. Most of the time, I'm just here to remind folks they've got rights. A piece of paper can make you do a lot of things, but it can't break the law. I've always been passionate about environmental law, so coming here was a natural fit. Imagine having all these wild ideas about how you were going to end corporate malfeasance, and I couldn't even win one case. But you can only cry about it for so long. I told myself to suck it up and win the next one, and the one after that. It didn't matter how many tries it took, I'd just keep chiseling away at the whole justice system until I made a crack. Maybe. But I'll be here anyway, holding the galaxy's tiniest chisel. I've always been... Imagine having... It didn't matter how many... That's right. And the one thing I've learned is there's no one case that'll solve everything. It's a process. I'll let you get back to it then.
Real scorcher today.
Fitting that the first people into space. They should be immortalized in this way. Were it not for the path they first blocked.
Watch your step. It's easy to take a scenic from here.
Buzz off, all right?
I was thinking about going for a hike outside the canyon. Remember where we are. Drink instead.
Error. You have already checked in at this location. Please resume route.
Smells like the Centauri kills me.
This is a private facility.
You been to Clint's recently?
Yes? Bye now.
They're conscripting security to search all the abandoned buildings for heat leeches. Guess who's got the next shift?
Always worth checking. Never know what you might find in their pockets.
Check-in accepted. Please continue along your route, courier.
Salutations. Please access your fleet.
Back at last. Did you find the courier? And more importantly, my package? My God. Dead? Well, I suppose that explains why my employee, Mr. Maximoff, disappeared so suddenly. And why the tracking beacon I installed on his ship was detected fleeing the planet. Here, your payment for finding the courier. It seems you've got some chops when it comes to investigation. What would you say to finding Mr. Maximoff for me? Seeing what he knows about where our data might have wandered off to. Excellent. Mr. Maximoff, Bonifant, appears to have set down on another world here in Alpha Centauri, Hawley. Go there and see what he may know on the subject of our fallen courier and our missing data. That data is very important to Reliant. I'll pay well to have it returned.
Tell me you're here to just report a good old-fashioned crime? If I have to deal with one more corporate exec begging for special treatment, I'll eat my badge. Oh, you haven't heard? Gagarin's going to be the next new Atlantis, or so we've all been told. Centauri Mills, Arcmite, Reliant Medical, they all bought up and renovated derelict buildings here in the city in the past couple years. We needed the jobs, to be sure. Gagarin got hit hard after the mech plants were all shuttered when the colony war ended. But I'm not sure I've ever met a more entitled group than these executives. Treat the city like an amusement park, and all of us as the amusements. It's kept me and my people plenty busy, just not with actual policing. But I'm sorry. Did you actually need to report something? You know, your stand-up routine leaves something to be desired. Though if you're gunning for a personalized tour of one of Gagarin's holding cells, that can certainly be arranged. But I think we might have gotten off on the wrong foot. I'm Delitzo Pretorius, UC Security Chief. It's our job to deal with any law breaking around Gagarin, and we take that job very seriously. Now, was there something I can help you with? We've had our issues. Some folks aren't thrilled about the corporations moving in, but the majority don't act on it. Those that do largely keep it civil. Protest, throw some paint, occasional crate wanders off. But we've managed to avoid any open conflict so far. It's really not a bad assignment. Well, I came here right after training, which was 10 years ago now. Gagarin was a lot rougher then. People were still reeling from all the plants getting shut down after the war. So there was a lot of petty theft, break-ins. I was responsible for putting together a pretty busy community outreach program. Worked out well enough that they eventually made me chief. Gagarin's not really that sort of burg. Most of the restaurants went belly up when the mech trade shut down. Only one left is Lizzie's, on the other side of town, though it does have a nice view of the square. There's also a little social club the local executive set up across from Lizzie's, but it's still pretty light on amenities. Now, if you're just looking to resupply, then you'll want Clint's. Another case of last business standing, but he's got a good selection. And for medical supplies, you'll want Dr. Keala. You can find both of them on the main concourse. Beyond that, we're just corporate offices and private homes. News in that start coming from my people sooner or later. Sure. Give 'em here. I'll throw 'em up in the office. Sure. Zeneda's helped me out of more than a couple tight squeezes. Least I can do. Could use a little chit-chat. Should get back to it anyway.
Ah. Zeneda warned me this day might be coming. Look, I presume you're not getting paid if I refuse delivery. So here, I'll take them. I'm not about to pull credits out of someone else's pockets. But this is a medical office. I can't in good conscience hang those things up. First, do no harm and all. I think you're just wasting your time here. I think we can work something out. All right, I'll put them up. Tell Zeneda she wins, okay? Hey there. Take care.
I hate it when the walkways creak.
Be careful on that ship. No clue. See ya. Can you imagine this place full of suits? Enough to make you want to flambe a necktie. More of these things? Fine. Give them here. I'll make sure they find their way to the incinerator with the earlier batches. Oh yeah? Fine. Let's discuss. I think we can work something out. I'd like to think so. Okay, I'll put up the damn posters. Now buzz off before I regret my decision. Were you looking to just wet your... Happy to take your credits anytime.
You managed to get those materials passed out? Folks didn't give you too much trouble, I hope. Really? Never thought in a million years Lizzie and Doc Keala would play ball. Good work. Here, what I owe you for the deliveries. And for your top-notch negotiation skills. Thanks again for helping out. Welcome back. Door's always open.
Perhaps we can find some indication of why this ship was vacated.
You're dead.
More triumphant.
Light him up! Yes!
I'm not entirely sure of the temperature thresholds on our equipment, but we may risk exceeding them. Load up the elevator shaft.
Best not to leave anything.
Not gonna get the drop on you again. No way.
If we want to get at whatever is inside this vault, we will need to restore power.
We should not skip an opportunity to line our pockets.
Always a satisfying moment to return to your ship.
Hazmat squad came through here the other day.
Why is no one talking about...
Hey, look who's alive.
City was
You
fine.
bring me my liquor?
Three-star Bandom.
Is that so? I really hope so. That's what I'm hoping. Fine, fine. You win. I'll up what I'm offering. Here, you earned this. Now, you ever need to blow away some memories, you come back and see me. Understand? Happy to take your credits anytime.
End of the colony war hit Gagarin.
Another busy day in Gagarin Landing. Sorry, I don't mean to be rude, but I've got a lot of shipments to process still, so let's cut to the chase. Are you here to claim a shipment in storage, or do you have some other shipping concern? Did one of my robots wander off again? Was it something else entirely? What do you expect? Robots never get tired. They don't need breaks. They can carry heavy loads. They're faster and more efficient in every way for this kind of work. And if I'm being honest, I prefer their company. When you've spent most of your life in space away from people, you learn to trust technology more than humanity. Well, it's owned by Unified Transport. We employ a mostly robotic staff. Fewer mistakes that way. We do short-term storage, long-term. I guess that's pretty much it. It's a warehouse. We do shipping. Enough said. You'd be surprised. Gagarin's had a bit of a resurgence lately as an industrial hub. It seems like every week we're storing and shipping more and more cargo. That reminds me, if this keeps up, we're going to need more robots. Auf Wiedersehen. This thing you're wearing? I'd like to help you, but there's a problem with my computer system. I can't verify your claim number at the moment. The technician said they should be done fixing it by 1100 hours local time. I'm not sure I can. That does sound pretty dangerous. Maybe it'd be okay. I'd love to help you out with your claim. Just let me think about it. Fine. You know what? I doubt you're trying to scam me for old replacement parts. Here, take them. Just give me the claim and I'll process it tomorrow when the system is working again. Stay safe out there. Before you ask, the computer's still down. Back to work, then.
I will never grow weary of seeing places like this. I can see why this location was chosen for a resort. Very nice.
Can't wait until we get those purifier parts. I don't know how much longer we can go with the air purifiers as they are. Hey, you got them? That's great! And just in time, too. One of my maintenance people said they heard something rattling around in one of the purifier units. Thanks. I'll make sure the staff here always treats you right.
We've been having some trouble with
There's
our resort
plenty to see and do around
But
there,
don't worry.
I hope you'll join in the fun. Aw, hate to see you leave.
We try to stay out of our guests' way.
Welcome to Paradiso. Jiro Sugiyama at your service. Do you have a security concern, or is there something else I can help you with? Neither. We're our own private force. The Paradiso group pays top dollar for top-notch security. And I dare say we're some of the best in the business. We have to be out here on the fringes of the settled systems. Honestly, it's not as exciting as you might think most of the time. More often than not, we're just handling drunk and disorderly conduct. Heck, even pirates leave us alone for the most part. I think it's because some of them actually vacation here. As long as they're not bothering anyone, we've been told not to worry about them. Ah, yes, of course. I'm glad you came. As you can imagine, we're in a bit of a predicament. Under normal circumstances, we would not enlist outside help in this manner. But this is a matter we can't afford to worry our guests about. As such, we need to handle this discreetly. Failure on your part to do so could have severe consequences. So, before we proceed, can you swear not to discuss this with anyone else unless explicitly directed to do so? Great. I appreciate it. Not too long ago, a strange and enormous ship appeared in Parima space. It is now locked in orbit around our planet. So far, it doesn't seem to be hostile, but any attempts to communicate with it have been in vain, so we're unsure of the ship's intentions. It bears no discernible markings or allegiances to any manufacturers we're aware of. I'm hoping that doesn't mean we're dealing with some sort of new deep space threat. Not quite. It took some time, but we received a transmission. It was all, pardon the phrasing, it sounded almost alien, like nothing anyone's heard before. Clicks, distorted groans, buzzing, really disturbing sounds. Now, one of our engineers says it could just be some busted comm equipment or incompatible signals, but we're not sure. So far, no one's disembarked from the ship, no landing craft, nothing. We don't have the staff or ships to spare, otherwise we'd dock with it and attempt to board. Can't say for sure. Looks worn, but not cobbled together like a Crimson Fleet junker. Others have been saying it's some new Varun design, a gigantic battleship with hidden armaments preparing for assault. But that doesn't check out either. There's also been talk about non-human sentient life. The comms data we received might support that, but humanity's spread far and wide and no one's ever encountered anything like that. Still, first contact. Could you imagine? It is. Whatever's going on, we need to approach this with care. First, see if you have more luck communicating with them. If not, you may have to try boarding. Whatever you do, it's important to remember to seek diplomacy with who or whatever's on board. As soon as you have any more information, report to Oliver Campbell. He's the CEO of Paradiso. All formal decisions will need to go through him, and he'll have your pay. Good luck. Between you and me, stay out of trouble.
Hey, I noticed you arriving at port shortly after I did. Something's been bothering me, and I've been dying to ask another guest. They told us there was a very active meteor shower, which is why we had to divert our flight path coming in for our landing. But I haven't seen a single shooting star since I've been here. That's weird, right? Oh, that's fair. I'll just have to ask around. The view coming in is so beautiful. You should really take the shuttle here sometime. Unless, of course, they've done away with that flight path for some reason. I sure hope not. Anyway, enjoy your stay. Sorry for bothering you. I came here...
I hope your stay is a pleasant one.
I think I made the right choice.
You're human. It's just that we weren't expecting to find life, let alone human life out here. We thought we were the only ones to leave Earth.
You thought you were the only ones? I am afraid you have been unaware of a great many things.
Perhaps we should greet our guests.
Of course. Manners. I'm Captain Diana Brackenridge. This is Security Officer Bomani Reader. And this is Dr. Mabuti da Costa, one of our elders.
A pleasure to meet you.
I don't know all the particulars, but I'll try to answer as best I can. It's a colony ship. It was built long ago by our ancestors to sustain our crew over hundreds of years in space through generations of travelers. It's sturdy, fast, and spacious. That last one is important because we had to take as many supplies as possible with us on the journey and still have ample space for our crew. You've come aboard the Earth colony ship, Constant. Generations ago, we set forth from the planet Earth with the mission of colonizing a new habitable world, in the spirit of our ancestors nearly a millennium ago. I see. As you may have presumed, we're in a bit of a bind. Our ship has finally completed its near 200-year journey from Earth, only to find our new home seemingly colonized by... well, we don't know. Communications haven't been successful, so your arrival is fortuitous. Perhaps you'd be willing to act as a middle person between ourselves and... the others. Well, the short answer is, we didn't. It's a generation ship, which is to say that most of us lived long, happy lives on board and passed our mission down to our children. It was never intended that the original crew would make it to our destination. The goal was always the preservation of the human race above all else. Though, it would seem that was perhaps a bit presumptuous. We're not entirely sure. Our engineers believe it's possible that our technology just isn't compatible with theirs. All we hear when using them to communicate with anyone is a bunch of disturbing noise. It gave me the heebie-jeebies at first. We do. Well, sort of. We saw structures using our surveying equipment. We've also seen the various ships pass us by. Some even seemed to want to communicate, but couldn't. Of course, we had no idea that they were being piloted by other humans. Ah, your question confirms one of our recent theories. It would seem that some form of faster-than-light travel or space-bending technology was invented during our long journey. That would explain why we would find people this far out into space. I guess technology leapfrogged us at some point. Interesting. I can only imagine that our predecessors didn't believe the technology would ever work, and so they made the decision to leave when they did. Oh yes, of course. Where are my manners? Now then, please follow me. There's much to discuss first. We'll speak more on the matter once we reach the bridge. Dr. DaCosta, you may return to your quarters if you wish.
Thank you, Captain.
I will follow you to the bridge, ma'am. For security purposes.
I do not believe we have need to fear our guest, but I'll allow it if you insist. Welcome to the Earth colony ship Constant. In the early 2100s, my ancestor, Rupert Brackenridge, researched a number of scientific scenarios: climate change, asteroid impact, nuclear war, global pandemic, and more. Each scenario showed the likelihood of an extinction-level event to be within 50 years. He fully believed Earth was destined to be rendered uninhabitable. We've always assumed that's what happened.
Careful waving that fancy
he gathered the
gun
best
around.
and brightest he could find, built the Constant, and set a course for this planet here. We were told that it was the largest, most advanced ship ever constructed on Earth at the time. If you can believe, entire generations have been born, lived, and died on this ship. It really goes to show that there are no limits to human ingenuity and perseverance.
Just stay out of trouble.
Never seen a ship like yours before.
Let's
Then again,
I am both shocked and impressed that all of this is still functional.
Hey, if you ever want some piloting tips, I'm your chica. Hey! So it is true. An actual stranger aboard our ship? Wow. Oh, geez. Sorry, of course you don't know my name. We never met. I'm Yue. Wow, I never thought this would happen. Well, we're all kind of new to this as well, so you're in good company. It's incredible. I'm pretty excited to meet new people and ask them all sorts of questions. I wonder about all we've missed this whole time while humanity has advanced around us. Oh, I'm the navigation officer, though I switch between nav and piloting. I'll be honest, the ship pretty much flies itself. Its destination hasn't changed since it launched, and we're here now, so I'm not sure what's next. See, the nav system's not perfect. We encounter stuff that our forebears didn't originally count on. Astral bodies, space debris, stuff like that. So sometimes I need to take manual control and get out of tricky situations. Then there was the time I used those unaccounted for anomalies to our advantage. Slingshotted us around a few stars that weren't supposed to be there, saved some fuel and knocked a few decades off our journey. Pretty incredible stuff. I'll be watching the skies for you.
We were never trained to address threats coming from outside our ship.
There's so much to learn about now.
I know Captain Brackenridge has essentially given you free rein to wander the ship, but security will still be watching you closely. I hope you understand, given we have so little experience with people from the outside. It pays to take security seriously, something I understand much better now than in my youth. Take no offense, but I am keeping an eye on you. It may surprise you to learn that I didn't. See, in my teenage years, I was quite rebellious. I stole a keycard and used it to get into the reactor. My shenanigans almost led to a total reactor meltdown. Normally, the punishment for such an act would be ejection from the ship. But my parents pleaded with Diana's father, the captain at the time, for leniency. He agreed. After I served time in the brig, he assigned me a job with the security team. I took the lesson to heart and have been taking my job seriously ever since. Sometimes I wonder the same. But it also served as a great reminder that it is important for there to be rules for everyone's safety. And also, sometimes a little leniency is an opportunity to learn and grow. They must have seen some potential in me at the time, and I am thankful they did. I don't have much basis for comparison. People tend to stay in line, but when they don't, I imagine it can be more challenging than out there. We only have a small brig, so in the few cases where there was widespread disorder, we needed to improvise. I'm told that has only happened once in our entire history. There was a brief revolt under Captain Brackenridge II when he amended the rationing laws. Prisoners were confined to their quarters. After the trial, the leader of the mutiny was exiled to space. We take security threats very seriously, for obvious reasons. We had time to prepare ourselves since we arrived in orbit around this planet. We knew there was life, and the predominant theory was that it was human life. When you approached, we needed to be careful. Both because you presented a potential threat, but also potential salvation. Plans were in place to deal with both scenarios, and luckily, cooler heads prevailed. Be safe.
Now that you're here, I can finally give my crew a chance at a new life. We didn't believe anyone would be out here, but I'm glad for it. I think I'm coming up on 6 years now. I was only a teenager when my father died, passing command of the ship to me, as is tradition. Because of that, I've had to sort of learn as I go along, instead of taking years of study and apprenticeship under the prior captain. I think some people on the ship resent me for not having the level of experience as my predecessors. But at the same time, without my command, we likely wouldn't have made it here so quickly. A bit frazzled, as you can imagine. People are anxious about discovering that we're not alone, and also worried about what will come to pass. While we hope we can work out a deal with the people on the surface, they seem reluctant to reach out, so there's no telling what will come of that. I do know that we can't afford to stay here in orbit forever. The ship was built to sustain us for many years with backup provisions just in case, but even that will come to an end eventually. Difficult is the wrong word. It can be both challenging at times and also exciting. Our mission was to rebuild humanity on a distant world, believing that we were Earth's last hope. To think that while there has always been a Brackenridge in the captain's chair, that I am the one to finally oversee our journey's end is truly exhilarating. But with this stumbling block in our path, at this final moment, I fear tough choices will need to be made. Well, as I mentioned, we've been unsuccessful in communications with anyone up until you arrived, though not for lack of trying. But since you're asking, maybe you'd be willing to be a sort of diplomat between us and them as we attempt to resolve our situation. Does that sound agreeable to you? We suspect that our equipment is woefully obsolete compared to whatever you all have now. In all honesty, we never expected to need to communicate with anyone, so our comms aren't particularly robust. That limits our options. We even attempted communicating with lights and sounds, something we saw in an old movie, but I don't believe they picked up on it. If anything, it may have inadvertently alarmed them. Ah, so they have a name. Paradiso. And it sounds promising that they sent you here to speak with us. You see, we intended to settle here, but we assumed that they intend to defend their claim given their presence here. We'd like you to go speak to them on our behalf and help us negotiate a solution, preferably one that favors us. Excellent. Make no mistake, this is our planet, and we intend for them to see this our way. So, speak with their leadership and see if you can negotiate a solution on our behalf. Preferably, get them to see things our way. Report back to me and let me know what they say, and we'll go from there. Now, it makes little sense to give up before you try. Thank you, and good luck. Safe travels to you.
We got strict rules around here.
Quite a heritage to have brought the ship so far in such a long time.
Just because our equipment's work to take down troublemakers.
I can't tell you how many times I've had to make do with inelegant solutions to complex technical problems. I was hoping to talk to our visitor from outer space, and here you are! Welcome, welcome! I have a million burning questions, but I won't overwhelm you. There will be plenty of time for that later. Please, indulge me just a couple. How did you do it? Did humanity finally discover faster-than-light travel and eclipse our poor old ship? Oh! I've heard of this technology, but always believed it was theoretical in nature. Maybe we can talk about it in more detail later. I'm sure you have more pressing matters to handle. I've waited this long. What's a little longer, eh? Oh, I've got so many questions, but I'm being rude. I haven't even given you my name. Chief Engineer Kazemi, but you can call me Amin. And, I might add, I'm one of the reasons we're still floating out here today. Yes, of course. Anything for my new friend. Ah, great question. I do not know for sure, but I can venture a guess. All of the reading I've done on the matter suggests that at the time, there was uncertainty that the technology would ever work, or if it did, that it would work at the scale we needed. So, I trust they made the decision to strike out when they did, fully believing it was the only way. Some may say I'm a master of keeping things together with nothing but duct tape and bubblegum. Well, if we had any gum left. Pretty sure that ran out 100 years ago. When I'm not dealing with catastrophic engine failures, I manage the other engineers. We maintain all the machinery, computers, you name it. We keep the life support on, and the ship flying. Many years ago, when I was a junior engineer, the reactor's computer burned out. The computer that controls the reactor's various regulators. I'll spare you the details, but when that happens, the ship and everyone on it is in danger of turning into a mess of hot slag. I had to jury-rig parts from old media devices to prevent a meltdown. And that's how I became the boss around here. Yes! So many! Does everyone have their own spaceships like you? Do people only live on naturally habitable planets, or did they learn to terraform? Are we in contact with alien species? I have so many more, but I don't want to take up all your time. Disappointing, but not unexpected. When you showed up, I tried to tell the others about the Fermi paradox. I suggested that the most likely explanation for you was that humanity had developed faster, more advanced technology and had leapfrogged us. Seems I was right. I'm not surprised. The amount of energy it would take to terraform an entire planet seems improbable. I can assume these types of colonies are strictly for mining and gathering rare resources, since there are nearly limitless habitable planets to choose from out there. Haha! I knew it! Incredible! Amazing! Simply amazing! In our ancestors' time, only the very wealthy could afford to build ships. Even this ship was only possible by our families pulling together nearly all of their financial resources. Thank you for taking the time to talk with me. I can have a bit of a big personality, I'm told. So let me know if I ever get on your nerves. Good luck out there!
Hey there. Wonder what it's like out there, beyond our little community. And to think, all this time, we thought we were alone.
Hi there. Oh, nice to meet you. And that's true. As you can imagine, everyone kind of just knows each other around here. Meeting new people isn't really a thing for us. Right? We've been cooped up together in this ship all our lives. So outside of births, there's literally no way for new people to arrive, you know? Anyway, sorry for freezing up before. I just didn't expect our visitor from the outside to stop by and chat with me. I figured, if anything, you'd be with the captain. I'm Daisuke, the ship's provisions manager. I'm not sure what I can offer you, but if I can help, I will. And if not, I'm happy just to talk. We manage. I know back on Earth, there used to be stores all over the place. Some that even specialize in specific types of goods, if you can imagine. But here, this is it. We have very limited supplies. Most of our stuff is recycled. Even the food. In a roundabout way, if you know what I mean. It works out for the most part, because it has to. You'll sense a running theme with that around here. Not really. Things don't work that way here. It's not a shop like you hear about in the books and movies, or, where you're probably from. Almost everything is communal or shared in some way, but sometimes people want a little something extra or special for themselves. So when that happens, they come to me. Mostly, I just keep track of the ship's inventory and help ration the supplies so we don't run out. Not really. Things don't work that way here. It's not a shop like you hear about in the books and movies, or, where you're probably from. Almost everything is communal or shared in some way, but sometimes people want a little something extra or special for themselves. So when that happens, they come to me. Mostly, I just keep track of the ship's inventory and help ration the supplies so we don't run out. See you around.
Wow. Hi.
I wonder what else is out there.
Sure is nice to know there are other people out there.
Now that we know what's out there, things are going to be more interesting from here on.
I've lived my
The Constant
entire
is a
life
peaceful
in the
ship.
Constant.
Don't change that.
How else to live?
Now that we know what's out there, things are going to be more interesting. Just because our equipment's old doesn't mean it won't prove to take damage. We were never trained to address threats coming from outside our ship.
I'm not much of a beach person, but everyone...
Yet another nice day in Paris.
I was beginning to wonder if you hibernate.
Between you and me, I'm kinda glad most of the execs never show up to work. I see you've returned. I can let you in if you've done what you need to do. But if not, I can't have you disturbing the execs. People were a little freaked out around here, understandably. It looks so different and it's so massive. We honestly thought we were under attack by an unknown entity. But then, nothing happened. It just stayed there. No one could communicate with it. And we've been very careful not to alert the resort guests. The board believed it would be bad for business. Sure. Have fun in the shark tank. And don't worry, even they call it that.
We try to stay out of our guests'
Just feel that we should be focusing on the natural beauty of this planet, not our amenities.
There are millions of planets out there. People can go to any one of them. The resort facilities are precisely what we bring to the table. Heck, it's the only thing we've really got to offer.
Ah, I don't want to risk us coming off as just another artificial, shady, trash-filled dump like Neon. That's not who we are. We've got something special here. We should embrace that.
Alarm's right.
Thank you.
We don't want to compete with Neon. Bayou's ruthless. He'll do anything he can to eliminate the competition. We don't need that kind of trouble. That being said, I think there's a middle ground. Maybe build up the beachfront at a boardwalk amusement park. I've had this idea to build artificial hot springs, that sort of thing.
Sounds good. I'll look into what that will cost us and we can circle back around to this.
I've been working on a new marketing slogan. Don't just imagine paradise.
I didn't realize
Live it
TV was
in
letting people in here.
Paradiso. What's not to love about this planet?
Unless
It's not
you're here to
important.
talk
Bring it
business,
up
I'm
with
afraid I
TV.
can't spare much
Come
time.
on, mate. Loads more interesting things to do outside. No need to mill about in here. Not quite. We just don't answer to the Freestar Collective or the United Colonies. Makes things easier. We don't pay any taxes. We don't need to follow their laws. All the benefits, none of the drawbacks. And no one minds because half the politicians and other big shots love vacationing here. Works for everyone. We, the Paradiso Group, bought the rights to this planet years ago with the intent of turning it into the biggest and best resort in the universe. To that end, I'd say we've succeeded. As such, no other leisure enterprises may operate on the planet without renting land from us. But as you can see, none can afford such a deal. No, of course not. There's several more. We're just the ones who show up day to day. The others spend their time lazing on the beach or gallivanting off-world. Doesn't bother me, though. Less cooks in the kitchen means I get to make all the big decisions around here. Seems to be working out for us just fine. I am. And you must be the diplomat Jiro told me about. Welcome, welcome. Normally I'd offer you an all-inclusive stay at our resort before we spoke. But given the circumstances, I'm going to cut to the chase. We've got our friends, the aliens, up there causing all sorts of problems for our resort. You like that? The marketing team came up with it. The thought is, if we can't get rid of them, it might actually attract more tourism. Come see the aliens! We run a premier resort getaway here. We can't have our guests concocting stories about some budgy old ship hanging around up there. As it is, we've had to reroute our luxury liners round the other side of the planet on entry so no one sees it. It's bad for business. We need to nip this in the bud and take care of it before the tourists catch on and cause a scene. Ah, we're being direct then. Good on you. So, what do you know about this dodgy ship I'm hearing all about? Bonza! That means we got 'em right where we want 'em. Now, tell me, what are we going to do about it? Give me some proposals, people. I need something to work with here.
We could offer to resettle them here. There's more than enough space.
They could stay here, temporarily, but it'll cost them. Quite a bit, too. They'd need to work off all their debts before being allowed to leave.
Maybe not. What if we help them get out of here? Outfit their ship with a grav drive so they can find a new home. We could even lend our engineers to help and give their captain an updated star map. What do you think?
Sounds costly. We can't absorb that cost, and it's unlikely they even have compatible currency, let alone enough for the transaction. Someone else would have to foot the bill.
Oh, I swear this would be a lot easier if they ceased to exist entirely. Anyway, Seema's got the right idea. Either works for me. Just tell me what you want to do. It's not our responsibility to bear the brunt of that cost. We're being more than generous by offering the use of our engineering team to help install it. A custom grav drive can't come cheap, and I assume they have neither the monetary means nor the connections to get a hold of that kind of technology. That leaves the only other party in this negotiation. You. We own this planet, they don't. Here at Paradiso, we don't like leaving things to chance. Who knows what these people will do with their land? Imagine the landscaping disasters they may come up with, and how that might mar the satellite imagery of the planet in our brochures. No, much better to assimilate them into our culture if they come here to live, rather than leave it to chance. My time is valuable. Thanks for the offer, but my answer is still no. Too much risk involved, and if it goes wrong, then the problem can quickly get out of hand. If they settle here, it'll be under our conditions, not theirs. Sorry. They'd be hard-pressed to defend their claim in any courts. Our charter goes back years. It was registered with both the UC and Freestar Collective, per the Centaurus Proclamation. We may be outside the settled systems, but that charter as official as can be. I'm sorry, but you're going to need to be the one to break the news to them that they need to make a compromise or leave. I have no idea, because I'm not suggesting anything of the sort. But it's a wonder that old ship made it all the way here in such a relatively short time. Must have really been pushing themselves. An engineer friend of mine told me once that the reactors on those old ships have a tendency to self-destruct if they overload. Of course, their engineers must have taken great care not to push it too far. Someone would likely have to override the safety systems in the reactor computer. But who would do such a thing?
I hope you are not asking what I think you are asking.
Guess we're tabling it for now. Let's circle back around ASAP, though.
Oh, hey, a customer.
Paradiso Security's only here for your safety.
Good luck. Sure, whatever you work. See you around.
Any adventure you can fly away from. Is that what the saying goes?
Careful waving that fancy gun around.
appreciate a good engineer, whether they know it or not.
Don't be stupid. Stop.
Keeping a 200-year-old ship running is no easy task. If the other colonists knew. See you!
Hey.
We got strict rules around here.
These are exciting times, aren't they?
I do not envy the lives that have been led in these confined quarters.
Wow. I've heard about you.
Never seen a ship like yours before. Then again,
The Constant is a peaceful ship. Don't change that.
Just staying out.
sure is nice to know there are other people out there.
I maintain order. Stay out of trouble.
I never had the patience for computer systems.
I can't take this! not worth it!
This is important!
Engage! Put him down!
I'll do this!
Such beauty in the midst of nothingness.
Okay. Hello.
Your safety is our #1 priority.
Hello.
I think I got them. What do you call them? Gorns?
Whoa! Did you see those bloody fireworks way up in the sky? The tourists think we set them off, but I don't know where they came from. It's not? Well, that's bonza! What a relief. Thank you for taking care of the problem. However, you managed it? Of course, any sum I give you will be nothing compared to what it would have cost to let the situation linger. I won't even ask how you did it. The important thing is you got the job done. In addition, I'd like to extend to you unlimited use of our resort. Well, there are some limits, of course, but you know how it is. Lawyers, am I right? Anyway, enjoy and have a good eye. If it's not important, bring it up with Kiwi. We? Sorry, I don't know what you're talking about. I believe there was a problem, then I spoke with you, and now there isn't a problem, and that's all. And on a completely unrelated note, the Paradiso Group does not condone violence or property destruction of any kind. Right, back to work.
Just doing my part to make sure Paradiso remains a paradise.
Hi there. I've got a lot on my plate right now, but I'm happy to help if you need it. Oh, part of the job, I guess. Gotta put on a smile to keep it, you know? And it helps for those rare opportunities I get to talk them out of some of their crazier ideas. Like, did you know they wanted to dye the entire ocean on this planet pink so it would look more magical or something? They almost did it too, until I reminded Balam that guests won't appreciate the water dyeing their swimsuits funny colors. Funny it took that and not killing off all the ocean life, but I take what I can get. At least Balam's there to be the reasonable one. See you next time.